Okay, hello, middle schoolers and high schoolers. It is time for your lesson. Welcome. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Time for your lesson here. So today we are going to get into our hymn, our main objective over here, which is about key signatures. We're going to do the flats today. Okay, our hymn is "Were You There When They Crucified My Lord?" Okay, let me say that title again. It's a long one. Okay, but go to "Were You There When They Crucified My Lord?" Type in lyrics on the Google search engine with a title, and you will get those lyrics right away. But first things first, time for the jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C. And learning is fun. Okay, sixth grade all the way through 12th grade. Here we go. Let's get right to it. So, one thing you definitely want to have ready also is your manuscript book, manuscript paper. Okay, as patrons, you can always go right onto our platform and just find the PDF with the manuscript sheet with the logo and print those out. Okay, make sure you have those handy, a good working pencil with an eraser. Okay, because we're going to do, as always, we're going to do a lot of writing. This is our theory and everything, so we make sure we have our material set. All right, but before we get into that, as well as our hymn for today, please sit up nice and straight. Let's get the lead out, guys. Here we go. Sit up nice and straight, shoulders relaxed, and everybody reach up into the sky as high as you can. Reach, feel that stretch of the lower back. Especially me, I did my exercises today and did a lot of core work today. Okay, focusing on the core, and this stretch just feels really, really good today. All of a sudden, okay. But let it drop, and guys, and start rolling those shoulders back. This feels even nicer right now. I gotta tell you, doing some core work, lots of push-ups today in my workout schedule, my workout routine. Whew. Feels good. Everybody rotate the shoulders forward now. Roll them forward. Okay. And guys, just remember, it's okay, especially as we get older, right? It's always good to have a good workout routine. Exercise is very important, not just to the body, but it also helps the mind. Okay. So let's do that. And everybody rotate your necks in a circle very slow, nice and controlled. All right, great. Everybody rotate in the other direction. All right, great job, guys. Everybody look all the way up, look all the way down, all the way to your right, and all the way to your left, and tilt to the right, and tilt to the left. Shrug and hold, and let them drop. Once again, shrug and hold, and let them drop. Good. Everybody put your hands in front of you like this and start opening and closing your hands. Great. Nice and slow. We're not trying to build, although, for those who are really into strength training, doing this at a rapid pace like this would actually build the forearms even more. It's actually good. It helps the grip strength even more. But we're just trying to kind of warm up, get ourselves ready. We're feeling stiff. This is always good. Okay. Now everybody squeeze and hold, and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Hold it. Keep going. Keep squeezing, and shake it out. All right, shake it out. And everybody take a deep breath in through your nose. Deep breath out. Once again, deep breath in. And deep breath out. And we are good to go, guys. Okay, so yes, we talk about exercise, okay, for the body as well as for the mind, and even more so for the mind. Now we're going to get ready to do our hymnal. So hopefully you've gotten those lyrics handy through your Google search. Again, it's called "Were You There When They Crucified My Lord?" Very interesting, very powerful question. Okay, really, when we look at this, it's actually known as a spiritual. Okay, no particular author was attributed to this particular hymn. But it's a folk spiritual, an American one, okay, which has been passed down generation to generation, okay. But it asks a very powerful question: were you there? What he did at the beginning, the foundation of the world. That crucifixion was just a symbol, to show what he did a long time ago, way before us, for his people. That is what's really amazing about that. So when they ask, were you there? I mean, it reminds me of the book of Job, when God says to Job, were you there when I created the rain? Were you there when I created the earth? Were you there? Do you know where I store the snow when it's time to snow? Were you there? Yeah, that's a very powerful question in that sense. And so, were we there at the beginning? Do we understand what he's done? Do we really know? Okay, very hard to fathom, guys. But it's amazing when we look at it. It's amazing the wisdom. Okay, so let's think on that. Let's think on that very much so when we are singing this together. Remember, as I've always said, when it comes to music, when it comes to anything, right? We always think about the content. The content is very important when it comes to performance. And this is a very good way, as I said before, we do our hymnals it does exercise the mind. It exercises our joy and our faith, and we can move on forward, okay? We get ourselves ready to learn. So without further ado, everybody, I'm going to bring the camera over to the keyboard, and we're going to sing this together. Have those lyrics handy. Please sit up, continue to sit nice and straight to exercise good posture, shoulders relaxed. And we are going to sing, let's get ready, were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they nailed him to the tree? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when they laid him in the tomb? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Were you there when the stone was rolled away? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Oh, you there when they crucified my Lord? And that was Were You There When They Crucified My Lord, an American spiritual. Guys, give yourselves a nice round of applause if you were able to follow along with that. Okay, if you, as always, guys, if you weren't, you had a little trouble kind of keeping up or whatever the case may be, you know, you can always go right back to the video and have your lyrics handy and practice, practice, practice. Okay, but this is, you know, again, just beautiful, beautiful, powerful song. Okay, let's get right into our main objective here, our main lesson, which is all about key signature, the flats. Okay, last week we did the sharps. Okay, if you recall, our sharps, they look like pound signs or number signs, however you want to look at it. Okay, hashtags. Okay, but those particular symbols raise the notes, raises natural notes by a half a step. Okay, whereas in comparison, our flats, everybody take a look, good look. I'm just going to adjust my camera here. All right, just in the height so we can see everything. Here we go. Okay, so when it comes to our flats, this is a different story. Our flats, whenever you see a flat right next to a note, written next to a note, okay, they look like a lowercase b. The flats actually lower the note by a half step as opposed to raising it. Okay, so they lower a regular natural note by half a step, so it goes down. So basically, a note, for instance, you don't see it on my keyboard, but I'm going to be playing an E. This is a regular E natural. Okay, if I wanted to play an E flat, it's just a half a step lower. E flat, okay, which most flats are usually in a black key, kind of like what we've gone over when it came to our intervals, okay, but that would be an E flat. It actually lowers that natural E by a half step, hence making it an E flat, okay, and that goes with any of the other letter names as well, okay. However, when it comes to key signatures, you know, we saw a grouping of sharps placed strategically on the staff. Okay, we've been working with our treble clef staff thus far. Next time we're going to go back to our sharps. Okay, we're actually going to next week we're going to do our sharps and our flats, but I'm going to show you how it looks on a bass clef. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit different, but you're going to be able to see bass and treble clef using sharps to see the key signature. And why? Because a lot of instruments require a bass clef by itself, or if you're playing the piano, you have to use a bass clef and the treble clef at the same time, okay? Because you got your high notes for treble and your low notes for your bass clef. So you might have to see both. So you have to, and they look differently. They look somewhat, I shouldn't say completely differently, but somewhat differently on the bass clef than they do the treble clef. So you're going to get to see that, okay? But as you saw last week, we had our sharps grouped and placed on the treble clef staff in a particular way, okay? And you had multiples. You went from one sharp to multiple sharps, okay? So the flats for key signatures are going to be the same thing, okay? And what's going to happen is you're going to see either one or you're going to see many placed in a strategic way on the treble clef staff, and then there's a rule by which we go by and how to read them. Okay, so when we're reading them, get your pencils and manuscript paper ready. Make sure you're writing this down. Please write everything down that we do. Okay, so for our key signatures, our flats. When we see flats, we are going to take the last or only. Let me just kind of highlight those, underline those. So last or only. You're going to take the last or only flat and count down 4 steps. For the sharps, it was that you took the last or only sharp and you went up a step to know what key signature we were in. Okay, and just remember, just because you might see flats or sharps placed in particular spots, that doesn't mean that's the key signature. It's when you take, again, going by this rule, taking the last or only flat, okay, and counting down 4 steps. That is the method you use into knowing what key signature you're in. However, wherever the flats are strategically placed, okay, that's how you know what's actually in the scale, depending on what key you're in, okay? That's what you know what's in the scale, which notes are flat in this case, which notes are flatted and which ones aren't, okay? So let's get right into it, everybody. Here we go. Okay, so we start off over here. Here is our treble clef, okay? And what's going to happen is we have to place our first flat. I'm just making sure you can see. I'm kind of looking at my monitor, making sure you can see everything. I'm going to bring it a little closer. Okay, yeah, I think that's good. All right, great. So I'm going to place the first flat. Now, last week, the first sharp was really on this top line, okay? For flats, the first flat from the left, and remember, we read all our flats and sharps. We read everything really from left to right. Here's the first flat. Please place it on the first, second, third line, okay? Counting from the bottom. Or whether you're counting down, doesn't matter, okay? But our first flat, okay, which again looks like a lowercase b, except if you see it, sometimes I make the mistake when it comes to my penmanship in music. Sometimes I round the flat. Sometimes I kind of go like this, okay? Sometimes I do that. When it comes to the actual flat, however, if you notice, the curve here is not so much rounded so much as it's rounded at the top and then angled off, okay? So that whenever you're writing a flat symbol, okay, you want this, and then you kind of want like a round, but then angle it and go straight down, almost like a straight down, okay? I'm actually more prouder of this flat than I am of this one, okay? But yeah, penmanship is everything. This way you don't get confused with a flat symbol in comparison to a lowercase b, all right? So that is a difference. Even though it looks pretty similar, it is slightly different in the way it's curved, okay? Just so you know, that's FYI, okay? But now, we have our first flat, always on the third line. Remember, we can't have the one flat, okay, in a key signature just placed anywhere, and that's the same thing that goes for all the other flats that we're going to look at. They have to be strategically placed in particular spots of the staff, okay? So the first one goes on the one and only goes on the third line, okay? Which, if we go by our formulas to find out, first of all, we have to find out what line this is, right? So imagine this was a line note because the third line is running right through the flat symbol. So you go every good boy does fine, right? E, G, B, D, F. Start from the bottom line. Every good boy, okay? And ironically, happens to be on the B line, okay? This flat that looks kind of like a lowercase b happens to be on the B line, okay? Which means that whatever key signature we're in, whichever one it is, okay? It means that it has a B flat. It has a B flat, okay? So this would be a B flat. However, it doesn't mean we're on the key of B flat. It means we still got to go by our rule over here. Let me see if you guys can see it well. Yep, you have to take the last flat. We're skipping we have to take the only flat, in this case, the only flat, and count down 4 steps, okay? Make sure, again, you have this rule written down, okay? So let's actually do that. You start from where the flat is located, which is on the third line, okay? You start from there and you count down 4 steps. Everybody, let's do that together. Here we go. 1, the line is 1, and then we go in step motion. The space is 2. The next line down is 3. We're counting down, and then the space on the bottom is 4. Okay? So let me write a better 4 than that. There we go. Okay, so what does that mean? The fourth step lands right in this bottom space, which is between the 2 lines. It's in the bottom space. What are the space formulas to the treble clef? Remember, it's our body part. It's face, right? So we think of face and we spell face, F-A-C-E, starting from the bottom space and going up. But do we need to go further than that? No, we've already landed on the bottom space. To spell face, we just simply go F. Oh, wait, that's our F, which means that is our F note, which means that we are in the key of F. Okay? That's what that means. Okay, so I want you to make sure you write this down. Whenever you have just one single flat on the B line and you count down 4 spaces from that B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, it means we're in the key of F. Why aren't we in the key of F flat? Because again, B flat is the only one that's recognized in this key signature. It's the only one that's flatted. All the other notes, A, C, okay, D, E, everything else is all natural except for B. All right. B is the only flat in the key of F. All right. That is what we're working with. Okay. Going on to the next measure, we're going to have now what? We got to have 2 flats, right? We go from 1 to 2. So let's say we're at the beginning of the song and we have our first flat here. Okay. I'm not especially proud of that one. See, I told you, my penmanship is not always the greatest. Okay. But for the sake of moving on, okay, I'm going to go from here. To place the second flat, I'm going to go up about 4 steps. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the space. And notice how I placed it. We go from the left, we go up in an angle towards the right. Why again? It can't be just above, directly above. Even though there's space to write it over here, it can't be that way because we have to, again, read from left to right. We got to be able to read it from left to right. This is how we are going to know. When we're actually figuring out which one is the last flat, according to our rule, we'll know by how much farther right the last flat is, okay? So it's got to be from the left, angle it off to the right, and write it at the top space. Again, counting up 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So there is where our second flat must be placed. We take, again, the last or only, okay, in this case, the last flat, and count down 4 steps, okay? First of all, we recognize still that we have what? A flat sign on the B line, which means we have a B flat. And what about the space up here? What is this letter name over here where the flat is? Well, we still, again, it's in the space, so we go by our face formula. We figure it out by spelling face from the bottom space. We go F-A-C-E, okay? There's our E flat. So in this scale, E is flat and so is B. B is flat. B flat and E flat belong to this key signature. But still, what is the key signature when you have the 2 flats strategically placed this way? Take the last flat. Here's the last one because it's the one farthest to the right, and count down 4 steps. From the space, everybody count 1, 2 in the line, 3 in the space, 4, okay, 4 on the line, and it just so happens to land on our good old friend, the 3rd line, okay, which is our what? It's our B line, every good boy, B line. But does that mean we're in the key of B? No. Why? Because there's a flat symbol already on that B line, which means we are actually in the key of B flat. Everybody see how that works? Okay. See, we do our 4 steps. We land on that B line, and it just so happens, again, in this key signature with our 2 flats, B flat and E flat, our B is flatted. So that means we have to name it the key of B flat. And this is how you write B flat. Uppercase B, your flat symbol, okay? And then we put it in quotes. So we know that we're in the key of B flat. And in the key of B flat, that means, of course, our namesake key signature, all right? The root of the root note, B is flat, but so is what? E, F-A-C-E. E is flat as well. So in the key of B flat, B is flat, E is flat. Everything else are all natural notes. All the other notes are natural notes except for B flat and E flat. Okay? That is how the key signature works. It is our way, again, as I said last week, it's our way to knowing, this is what you'll find really next to the treble clef, like I did here in the first example. Okay? I just didn't want to write a whole bunch of treble clefs. But the idea is you always see your key signature, okay, done at the very beginning of a song so that you know exactly what to expect, okay? That naturally in the key of B flat, every B will be flat, every E will be flat, and all others will stay natural. Unless, as I explained last time, unless they take one of the natural notes that's part of the scale, and they put a accidental, they put a sharp, they put a flat, and they change it so that you play that particular note when the time comes in the song. That's the only time that's different, okay, where they bend the rules a bit. But other than that, every B and every E will be B flat, E flat, and everything else natural, okay? That's what the key signature does for us, okay? Now, here we go. We continue on, everybody. So now we have to get 3 flats, right? We always go from 1 to 2, 3, 4, okay? So let's do our 3 flats. Here's the first flat on the 3rd line, of course, B flat, right? We have our E flat angle off to the right and up, counting up 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now, from there, we got to place the 3rd flat, okay? Let me just check, making sure. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, yes. Okay, so now we're going to count downward, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We count down 5 steps from our last flat. Count down 5 steps. Let's do it. 1, space, 1, line is 2, space is 3, line is 4, space is count number 5. And we angle off to the right, downward to the right, and write our 3rd flat right there in this space, okay? So there's our 3 flats. That's how they belong in that order. This is the first one, second one, angle off to the right, downward, third one, counting down 5 spaces from this flat, from the top one, okay? Here's the thing. What is the letter name to this flat? We know we have a B flat. We know we have an E flat. This one is in the space, okay? Face formula, spell face, everybody, from the bottom space. Let's go. And F, A. Oh, so now we have an A flat over here, okay? We have an A flat, but that doesn't mean that we are in the key of A flat, or we just happen to have an A flat. Whatever key signature this is, we have a B flat, an E flat, and an A flat. However, what is the namesake? What is the name of the key signature in which we would play a song in this with these 3 flats? Well, only one rule to go by. In flats, take the last flat and count down 4 steps. So from the last flat, this is the last flat because it's the farthest right, okay? Count down 4 steps for me. Let's go from the space to line, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 4, step number 4 lands on the bottom line, where the bottom line is crossing that number 4, okay? Which means that we have to figure out the letter name to this. What is the letter name to this bottom line? Well, Line's formula for treble clef. What is it? Every good boy does fine, E, G, B, D, F, right? So let's do it. Let's recite the formula. Need we go on further to the next line and the next line after that? No. Because every is the bottom line right there on step number 4. That means we are in the key every of E flat. Okay, there it is. We're in the key of E flat. Everybody understand that? Give me a thumbs up. Yep. Okay. All right. So we're in the key of E flat. And, oh, I'm sorry. Why is it E flat and not E? Because, as we said before, in our key signature, what do we have here in the top space? F-A-C-E flat. It's an E flat. So therefore, we are in the key of E flat because in this key signature, okay, with this bottom line, even though there's no flat symbol on the bottom line, it's still up here on the top space, which is also a high E. It's the letter E, as well as this bottom line, right? So that means that instead of it being just the key of E, okay, like we found out with our sharps, right? We have a key of E, but then we also have a key of E flat. And in this key of E flat, E is of course flat, your B is flat, and your A is flat. Everything else, not flatted. All the others are natural notes, okay? Just kind of checking the time. Okay, let's move on, guys. We got to have 4 flats here. Here we go. Let's write it down, okay? So first flat, B flat. E flat. Down 5 steps, we have A flat. Now we go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. We go up 4 steps from the last flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going farther right, angling off to the top, okay? And we have it on that 4th line, okay? What is the letter name to that 4th line? It's a line note, right? So every good boy does fine, EGBDF. Everybody do it with me. Every good boy does. Now we have a D flat, okay? So we have a D flat there. However, is that the key signature? No, because we got to take our last flat, according to our rule, last flat, count down 4 steps, okay? So let's count down 4 steps from this last flat, from our D flat. Everybody count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, let me do that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We land on the space, which is also flatted. It is flatted, which is what? A flat, F-A, right? For face, F-A, that means we are in the key of A flat. We're in the key of A flat, okay? And in the key of A flat, A, of course, is flat, B is flat, E is flat, and D is flat, okay? We have A flat, B flat, E flat, and D flat in the key of A flat, okay? Those are the notes that are flat, but F isn't, okay? C isn't flat, okay? We have all those others, okay? G isn't flat because there's no G flat in the key signature. All those other notes are natural notes minus these 4, okay? All right. We are now going to our next measure. We have to have what? 5 flats, okay? Moving right along. So everybody write your flats. B flat. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Now we have to have a 5th flat, okay? 1, we count from that last flat. 1, we got to go down actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps. We got to count down 5 steps from this D flat and place our flat symbol on the 2nd line, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 flats there, okay? We take the last flat according to our rule. Take the last flat. Count down 4 steps. Everybody count down with me. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the space, in the bottom space there, okay? Underneath the treble clef staff. Here's the thing. What is this last flat over here? What letter name does it get? Okay, it's a line note. Every good boy does fine. EGBDF. Every good. Okay, so a G flat. Okay, that's a G flat, but we're not in the key of G flat because we counted down 4 steps from our G flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, which means this is what? The D space. It is in the space D underneath the treble clef staff, right? So that means we're in the key of D flat. Okay, wait a minute. Why is it not the key of D? Because when we look in our key signature, let's make sure, let's see what we have in this key, in the key of D flat. We have B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Every good boy does D flat. So it's not the key of D natural, it's in the key of D flat. And again, our key of D flat has B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat is included, okay? G flat is also included in the key of D flat, while the other notes are just regular natural notes, okay? So that's how that works. We got to move on to 6 flats now, 6, okay? And it goes all the way up to 7, everybody. It goes to 7. So we have to go to 6 flats. Here we go. B flat, next measure, right? B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat. Could have written that a little bit better. Okay, D flat, G flat. Okay, now we go up 1 from the last flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up 4 spaces from there. 4 steps from there. Furthest to the right, angle off. Okay, and we have our 6th flat. Okay, our 6th flat ending up on this space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ending up on this space right here, okay? So spaces formula, F-A-C-E for face, right? Everybody spell it, F-A-C, that we have a C flat. Look at that. We have a C flat there. But from C flat, with it being the last flat, according to our rule, the last flat, we got to count down 4 steps. Take the last flat. Here we go. We go 1 on the space, 2 in the line, 3 in the space, 4 on the line. Okay. And now we land in which one? What letter name is that? Every good. Look, the flat sign on the flat sign is on the good line. That means we are in the key of G flat. Okay? In the key of G flat, B is flat, E is flat, A is flat, D is flat. G, of course, is flat, namesake, right? And C is flat. Key of C flat. Okay? I'm sorry, key of G flat has a C flat, has all those flats, okay, except maybe for F. And actually, that's pretty much it. Okay, everything else is flatted except for F. All right, except for F. Now we got to go down to our 7 flats. We got to have 7 flats now. Okay, as the last key signature. So everybody get to the next measure, draw another bar line. Make sure you have another bar line. I'm going to draw a double bar line here so we can know that we're in the end. Okay, so we have B flat, everybody, right? Your B flat, third line. E flat, angle off to the right. Up 4 steps, right? E flat, then down 5 steps. A flat in the space, okay? Go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps up from A flat. We'll draw a flat sign on the D. Okay, that's 4 flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 5 steps from D flat. We have our G flat. Okay, up another 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Angle off to the right. We have our C flat and then our 7th flat. Our 7th flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Angle off to the right, son. And have our flats. Excuse me, and have the last flat there in the space. What space is that? What space is that? If it's a space, we use face, right? We use our face formula, F-A-C-E, F, spelling F, right? Oh, wait, guess what? It's an F flat because look, this we don't have to go further. It's over. The last flat is already on that space. So we have an F flat over here, but that doesn't mean we're in the key of F flat though. Does not mean that because we got to still count down 4 steps from F. Okay? So when we count down 4 steps, actually, I'm making sure that you guys can see it. Maybe not as, okay, I'm going to angle this off a little bit better. There we go. Okay, so watch this. Count 4 steps from the space, from the F space. 1, 2, 3 in the space, and ledger line 4. Ledger line. That's hint, hint, wink, wink. Okay, the ledger line. What note is our bestest friend? As I've said in previous lessons, especially when it comes to piano, our bestest friend in the entire world when it comes to in the treble clef staff, being in the ledger line below the staff, which is the imaginary cut line going to and fro. Okay, what is that note? That is our middle C, which means guess what? We're in the key of C flat. Not in the regular key of C. Remember I told you guys last week that in the key of C, when we're trying to be in the key of C, there are no flats and there are no sharps after the treble clef. When you see it empty, minus any flats or any sharps, that means we are in the key of C natural, okay? So why is this? Why are 7 flats in the key of C flat? Yeah, we counted down 4 steps to C, but guess what? Right here, it's in the 6th flat, okay? Our 6th flat of the key signature has a what? F-A-C, has a C flat, which means 7 flats, okay? Having B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat means we are in the key of C flat because we counted down 4 steps from the F flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, ledger line 4. We are in the key of C flat. which means, guess what? All the notes now are flatted, all of them. In the key of C flat, all of the notes are flatted. Just like last week when we found out C sharp, all the notes in the key signature of C sharp are all sharped. Okay, so you see it's kind of like an all or nothing when it comes to the letter C, right? If we have no sharps or flats, that's the key of C. Okay, that's the key of C. If we have 7 sharps, we're in the key of C sharp. If we have, seven flats, now we're in the key of C flat. So with C, with that letter C, it's kind of like an all or nothing type of case, okay? Everybody understand that? In fact, I'm just gonna write this up so that you guys can remember, okay? Watch this, I'm gonna write it on my other panel over here so you guys can see the differences. Here we go. So I'm gonna draw some little mini measures, okay? You still have manuscript paper, so you could just write it in, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 lines in the staff, okay? So in the treble clef, okay? If you see, remember, no sharps or flats. I'm going to write it over here. No sharps, and no flats. Okay? No sharps, no flats. Key of C natural. That's what that is. No sharps or no flats. We're in the key of C natural. However, if we have 7 sharps, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 7 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and oh my goodness. Where am I missing? Oh, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so we have 7 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, in this formation, that means we're in the key of C sharp. Okay, so make sure you have this. No sharps, no flats. We're in the key of C. 7 sharps, okay? 7 sharps, okay? It means we're in the key of C sharps. 7 flats, okay? And then back down here, guys. Whoop. 7 flats means we're in the key of C flat. Everybody see the difference there? Okay? So make sure you have this. Actually, we're gonna back it up some so that you can see it all, everybody. Here we go. Okay? So you can see it all. So 7 flats, C flat, key of C flat. No sharps, no flats. Okay, we're in the key of C natural. 7 sharps, we are in the key of C sharp. Everybody understand that? Okay, make sure you get all of this down. Okay, even after I come off, all you have to do is go back to this part of the video and make sure you write it all down. Okay, and that is how we arrange our sharps, our flats, okay, and even our sharps in a particular key signature so that you guys know what you're looking forward to. You'll know exactly which notes are sharp and which notes are flatted, okay? All right, and then no sharps or flats in the key of C, it just really just, it's very plain to you right there. It means nothing is sharp or flat, okay? That is how the key signature works, okay? Guys, everybody got that? Give me a double thumbs up. Yeah, okay. All right, so next time what we have to look forward to is going into the bass clef and showing you guys how it's arranged, how the sharps and flat key signatures are arranged in the bass clef, okay? So get ready to write those down, okay? Make sure you have all of this down. And guys, great job. Thank you for being with me during this class, okay? And supporting Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, as well as my friends around the world who get to see our classes, okay? Great job, everybody. You did a fantastic job. Guys, as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everyone, take care of yourselves and have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.